welcome to my kitchen. This is where the quote-unquote magic happens. And today I have a lot of fun things in store for you. In case you missed it, a couple of days ago I sent out an email with a list of my toddler and baby meal prep necessities. It kind of outlined everything I use on almost a daily basis, definitely a weekly basis, of what I need to make healthy and delicious food for my little one. Today we're going to go over the basics, kind of the guidelines that I use when creating a meal for my little one and prepping some delicious food for her. But before I get started, I wanted to take a quick minute in case you missed my first email to let you know why I'm here and what I've learned and why I'm sharing it with all of you. I am the mother to a 16-month-old little girl, and up until very recently I was her full-time caregiver while also trying to run my business, the food blog, from home. So as you can imagine, I was very busy and it left me very little free time to put together food for my little one. However, being a food blogger that celebrates recipes for a balanced life and whole foods as much as possible, I really wanted to make sure I was giving my daughter nutritious food and introducing her to all the delicious things. So I spent the last 10 months or so, ever since she started eating, trying to find ways that I could create healthy, nutritious meals for her in as little time possible. And I have learned so much and come up with so many tips and tricks that those are what I'm here to share with you. So let's jump in. When I'm thinking about meals for my little one, I like to break things up into 4 different groups. I break it up into a protein, a vegetable, a starch, and a fruit. I tend to put the protein, vegetables, and starches all on one plate for her, and then I reserve the fruit for the end as a little dessert because I think, as we all know, our toddlers and babies love fruit, so it's never usually a problem to get them to eat it, and it's a good reward for having eaten a really good rest of their meal. So I'm going to jump into different ways I like to prepare each food group in just a minute, but before then I wanted to make sure you all know about this book called The Flavor Bible. It's by Karen Page and Andrew Dornenberg, and it is a savior when trying to be creative with different ingredients. So for example, if you're cooking something like butternut squash, you can look up butternut squash in the book, and underneath it will list all the different flavors like spices and herbs that go with it, so you can kind of mix and match and really introduce your little ones to lots of new flavors without loading on just salt and pepper every time. So let's talk about protein for a minute. I know when most of us think of protein, we probably think about meat, which is definitely a good source of protein, but there are also other sources such as beans, quinoa, even cheese. For meat, I find that shredded and ground meats are the easiest for little ones. I don't know about you, but my daughter only has 2 teeth still, so she needs stuff that she can easily gum. This here is just a Kahlua pork that I made in the Instant Pot, which is a great tool because it took me only about 90 minutes to make, which could otherwise take hours and hours. If you're not on the Instant Pot train yet, you can totally use a crock pot. It'll just take a little bit longer. For ground meat, that's easy to cook on the stove top, or if you make it into little patties, you can cook up a mini burger slider on the grill. And as far as beans, I wouldn't put it past you to use canned beans. Just be sure to rinse them off. But the Instant Pot is also a really great tool for cooking dried beans really quickly. So that's another option for you as well. Cheese, my daughter loves, but I do try to use it sparingly. Because I know it's not always the healthiest protein, but I highly encourage you to introduce your child to other types of cheeses than just the casual string cheese or cheddar cheese. You might be surprised at what they will enjoy. I also wanted to say one quick word about nut butters because they are a great source of protein, and I know recently doctors have really gotten on board with introducing children to nuts at a lot earlier age than they used to. We introduced our daughter to peanut butter at around 6 months, and she had no issues with it. So since then, we've also tried things like almond butter. But if your son or daughter has an allergy to nuts, I also highly recommend sunflower seed butter. It's really delicious, and we like it here, even though we also eat nut butters. One little note when buying any sort of nut butter is to look at the ingredients, because you want to make sure it's just got the nuts in it. A lot of the softer peanut butters and almond butters have stuff like cane sugar in them, and that's just, we don't want our kids having that. So just be sure to be aware of the ingredients list. We really like Santa Cruz Organic peanut butter, and even the Kirkland Organic almond butter are both great choices. Alrighty, let's talk about veggies. When I think about veggies, I like to think about the colors of the rainbow, but really I only think about 3 groups. I think about green veggies, orange veggies, and other. Green veggies can be things like zucchini, which are right here. My daughter loves zucchini, broccoli, spinach, green beans, snap peas. Orange veggies, which is probably my daughter's favorite color of veggie, things like butternut squash, any other kind of squash, carrots, and then the other group, which are things like eggplant, cauliflower, bell peppers, or beets. Those are all really great options, and there are tons of different ways to prep them. The most common would probably be roasting in the oven, sauteing on the stove, steaming on the stove. Yeah, I think that's about it. Also, pureeing into lots of great muffins, pancakes, baby baked donuts, and those are all types of recipes that I have coming up for you soon. Okay, let's talk about starches really quick. I'm not going to spend too much time on them because they're pretty self-explanatory, but some of our little ones' favorite starches are things like whole wheat pasta, brown rice, and Dave's Killer bread. My little one loves all sorts of bread, but I try to give her Dave's as much as possible because it has really wholesome ingredients. Plus it's really soft, so it's still easy for her to chew on with just her 2 teeth. Okay, so again, I don't think I need to spend too much time talking about fruit, but some of my little one's favorite fruits are definitely bananas, tangerines and oranges, strawberries, kiwis, mangoes, pears, pretty much anything she'll really enjoy. One money saving tip I would love to give regarding fruit is buy things loose, not pre-packaged, and that way you can pick and choose like one of each different type of fruit, and it's really cheap, and then your son or daughter will be exposed to many different flavors, but you don't have to worry about something rotting or going bad. So maybe buy 1 kiwi and 1 pear and 1 apple and just see what they like and let them try a few different things. Whew, well that was a lot to learn in very little time, but I hope it was helpful for you and give you just a little more confidence along with those necessities that I sent out in my first email to really prepare some delicious food for your little one and help expose them to some new and different flavors that are also healthy at the same time. I promise you it does not take as long as you think, and the more you do it, the quicker it'll go. But I do want to hear from you, and I want you to let me know if you have any questions with meal prep, if there's anything you're really struggling with. So I have something a little different set up for you for my next email. Now, as much as I love making homemade food for my little one and wish I could do everything from scratch, I think we can all agree that there are just times where you need to rely on store-bought snacks, but you want ones that you know will be healthy and nutritious and that your kid will love. So in my next email, I'm going to share with you some of my go-to snacks that I buy from the store, and I may also be giving a sneak peek at one of my new recipes that's coming out in my ebook in just a few days. So I look forward to seeing you then.